Ladder. My name is Jake Asterix Panko, and with me, of course, is Nathan Mendrix Mendez. And we've finally come this far. After a really big day, we've come to the grand final. Of course, it's Legacy Genesis versus Avant Garde Academy.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an exciting game. We have two challenger-level teams bringing you some action tonight, and I can't wait to see what these teams roll out.
Oh, wow. It's nighttime.
Yeah, it's past 6 p.m. It's classified as nighttime.
We've gotten into the heartfelt bit of the night. We're facing really two good teams here who've fought their way up, and of course, it's a bit of a slanted final because we have Legacy, the Avant-Garde couldn't fill a roster before due to some technical issues, so it's already 1-0 towards Legacy. So Avant-Garde really have to put in the hard yards to make this two-point gap. Legacy need 1 point to win, and that'll be it. So one win is all it's going to take for Legacy. They start off with a really good ban. Fizz, well done. Get rid of Triple Cheese's Fizz. Azir and Fizz. We're going to see Anar and Evelyn ban straight away by Avant-Garde. Good bans coming through there. We have a lot of similar names coming on the scene. Chief Impaired, an ex-OPL player. We have, of course, Claire from Legacy. Cardred, who was a really good top laner once upon a time in Legacy. So a really experienced team coming through here. But on the other side, we've seen Avant-Garde prove their worth. They're not just academy people anymore. They're big boys.
They're the big boys now. They're definitely playing up against the big boys. And, ooh, a Skarner ban.
Skarner, why not? Maybe Chief Impaired just doing some weird things for the time being. And Claire versus Triple Cheese in the mid lane, that's what we have to watch. Cheese is he is the big cheese at the moment. Can Claire actually trump that? We don't know for the time being. But we look at Cardred. He has got himself Kalista straight away. First pick Kalista. Has the ability to be countered, but ADCs at the moment, not really about countering them. It's about getting supports on the enemy team that can trump them, that can lock them down and make them involatile.
Definitely. And looking through to Avant-Garde's Academy side, well, Mr. Skeleton, he's always picked up that Maokai, and once again, he picks up another Maokai, really staying true to that tank meta. Not only that, Nellis is also looking towards the Sejuani. We're looking at massive tankiness and shutdown capabilities from these two, and if they manage to get onto Kalista, she's not going to have a good day.
That's what we're really seeing a lot, and wow, last second, turns into a Nautilus. Maybe Becky Gomez wants to change the support, but no Blitzcrank ban. Probably see the Blitzcrank come out once again for the 4th time running. Nellis was really confident on that Sejuani, on the Nunu as well. So the fact that we don't see that coming through, we see maybe a Nautilus in the jungle, it's different. Should you stay with comfort picks? I don't know. I don't know what you're feeling this game. Maybe the Nautilus will bring it. Avant-Garde Academy really need this win. They need to make it 1-1, bring the intensity level up, and just turn it into an intense final. We see Gragas getting locked in for Chief Impaired. Of course, Pac-Man. I'm guessing in that top lane we'll see a Hecarim coming with the summoners that we see there, Teleport and Smite. But we're just going to have to see what Claire picks.
It's definitely absolutely possible. Looking at those summoners before recently in LCK, you actually had an Evelyn and Rek'Sai combination used when you had the Rek'Sai up in the top lane. Ever since Clearlive brought out the Eve again, everyone's like, oh yeah, Eve's actually pretty good. And that's probably why we see the Evelyn ban, just to see if they can hit it onto Chief Impaired. He might be a fantastic Evelyn player and making it work. And there's the Hecarim. You claimed it.
I did indeed. I was doing some magic when I saw that coming. Hecarim in the top lane versus the Maokai. It's a brutal force that Hecarim generally wins unless the Maokai can outplay and really bring that Hecarim's mana down to 0. Additions looking at the Tristana, and Triple Cheese is teasing, obviously, with a Sejuani, unless maybe we see a Nautilus support. A Garen would be cool, but maybe not. The lock-in of Tristana, that's what's important here. Tristana gets locked in with confidence. That's something we haven't seen from Addition just yet. He's got a really wide champion pool, and I love seeing that. I love seeing 80 carries that don't limit themselves to Lucian, Jinx, Kalista, that's it. Goes for the Tristana for a change, and that's beautiful. We see the Sejuani being locked in, so most probably a Nautilus support.
Yes, definitely in that regard. And it's pretty good lockdown coming through for Tristana as well. If she manages to get a decent hook, or Becky Gomez does get a good hook onto Kalista, then from there you get the jump in from Tristana, puts the bomb on her, and there's not much you can really do in that situation.
Cardred is hovering Trindaquil. Now, that's a pretty strong I'd say top laner, but the only opening at the moment is the mid laner. We don't know what to expect coming into this mid lane. For the time being, Becky Gomez hasn't picked Triple Cheese as mid laner just yet. Unless you decide to put a Sejuani in the mid lane and change the meta, you know. Shift in meta is what you like to do. But no, we see Claire go straight onto the Cassiopeia. That's a beautiful change of what we've been seeing in those mid lanes. Nothing boring there. A lot of poison coming out from the Serpent. And what is Becky Gomez going to pick in response, I wonder?
Be very interesting to see what she is going to go through for that mid lane. There has been a rise of the Serpents. Cassiopeia is becoming a more and more popular pick. Will it be the Twisted Fate?
Oh.
That'd be very interesting to see. I'm not going to try and fight this Cassiopeia head on. I'm just going to snowball the rest of my entire lanes. But no, there might be a LeBlanc.
It might be a LeBlanc indeed. We're getting so excited seeing what this mid lane is. Triple Cheese's mid lane has been the turning point for the game. If he gets a really good mid laner that he can excel with, that's it. That's it. That's all you need. And of course, the LeBlanc gets locked in. LeBlanc versus Cassiopeia in that mid lane. Claire versus Triple Cheese. That is the lane to be watching. Pac-Man in that top lane as well, but that's going to be pretty passive until the level 8, level 9 mark when they start scaling really nicely. I'm afraid that we might see a lot of ganking potential coming through from Impaired and from Niels.
Yeah, definitely. Who they choose to gank is going to be the thing. I think the big thing. There's going to be a lot in the mid lane. I reckon that's where the focus is going to be coming through from these guys. You have a very immobile Cassiopeia, which can be ganked easily by LeBlanc and Sejuani in combination. But the big thing you can also look at, well, if they're going to do that, I also need to be there protect and perhaps use her extra damage coming from the cast to turn that gank on their heads.
And we see the Cassiopeia picking up the cleanse, getting rid of LeBlanc's chains of distortion or chains of command. The chains, right? The 2 chains, right?
Yes.
So getting rid of those chains, bringing up the cleanse, gonna counter for that Cassiopeia to pretty much say, hey, look, you can't do anything to me. You thought you stunned me. No, kite that around a bit. Doesn't have the ghost, unfortunately. Only went for the smite. The flash. So not gonna be able to kite around with that, guys. But might ghost. Just losing myself here tonight. Ghost would have been maybe a better option to kite around, but maybe the flash, just some really good plays, of course, with Cass's ult and all the poison. The Twin Fangs just does so much damage to poison enemies. That 0.5 second cooldown is crazy.
Pretty much the main reason she's picked up that cleanse is to basically stop any CC from getting onto her. She wants to be able to cleanse, instantly use her ultimate in an effective manner. If she's not able to do that, she's pretty much useless. If she can't land her ultimate without her enemies facing her, that's the big detriment to playing Cassiopeia. Otherwise, you're just going to slow them. You're not going to actually put them into stone, which is where you want to put them at.
And Cassiopeia at the moment really being played in the huge Chinese scene and the Korean scene. So whether Oceanic can sort of build up that reputation to having good Cassiopeia players won't depend on this game, but hey, it'll be a start. LeBlanc into Cassiopeia, does it actually get that brutally punished?
It should. It definitely should. You're immobile. LeBlanc loves immobile mid laners. On top of all that, if she gets in chunks, she's very mobile. It's going to be hard for Cassiopeia to land the poisons onto LeBlanc if she's moving her footwork very well. And as long as she positions herself correctly, she shouldn't be taking any damage. Probably like 1 Twin Fang, which won't proc anymore because she won't be poisoned. Yep. So it's really a matter of Cassiopeia looking for the farm, get to that really big late game, and just be a menace when it comes to putting her ultimate out and dealing a lot of damage.
Yeah, look, I mean, moving aside from Cassiopeia, we move back to that top lane, which has always been a focal point for our games so far. Skeletal picking his Malphite or Maokai doesn't have that big of a champion pool to start off, but he's still a really aggressive mid laner. And the fact is, he knows when to brutally punish someone. He knows when to twisted advance onto them. Junglers coming in. He just times everything really well. And for a Maokai, I guess that's pretty crucial. Into the team fight, we talk about Hecarim and Maokai both being as brutal as each other, depending on positioning. But the way that we've seen, normally we'd see Cardred going in that top lane. But we see, of course, we see Pac-Man coming in there. Different sort of team composition. Hecarim with the teleport and the smite, Cinderhulk, might actually do a bit more damage to that Maokai.
It definitely can. It's not going to be as strong because now it doesn't have that ramp-up damage that it used to have before, which was why it was so powerful. but you still have the efficiency from the fact that you can get yourself extremely tanky just by beating a couple of health items. And then on top of that, with the challenging smite, if he lands that at a decent time, it has also been nerfed in this patch. It was originally 6 seconds. They've turned it down to 2 seconds now.
Not Cinder Hulk, you don't
So
think?
it's pretty big. No, it'll still be a Cinder Hulk.
But it'll
It's
be
just, I reckon they might change up which Cinder Hulk they build into, which particular jungle item he decides to use. So it might be the chilling smite instead of the challenging
bit more
smite.
passive play maybe coming up. And of course, the slow still works with the chilling smite. I mean, obviously not as long, and the challenging smite doesn't reveal that I believe the true damage against yourself. So that's not going to be much against the Maokai anyway. He doesn't really do that much true damage, if any, does he?
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't really do too much, but still, it's just an effective item to have in the
We're
moment.
trying to
That's why
think.
the
We're
tank
like,
matter.
does Maokai do true damage?
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
He does.
Would
he
you
does-
like to lock that in?
Yes, he does percentage health magic damage.
Okay. Does he?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Good. He's a magical tree. He's
He's a
an
very
ant.
magical tree.
Yes.
He was born from
Gandalf.
understanding like he was also born with the crystal scar. He's like Gandalf, yes.
No, he's not like Gandalf.
He's like Treebeard.
He's Thank you. God, it took 3 times for me saying Gandalf for you to get that. But as magical as Treebeard is, we move to another essential lane and we see Tristana, Callista, 1v1. Now, Tristana, not normally matched up against Callista, but how do they fare?
Normally, Tristana fails off early, so Tristana shouldn't be ahead.
Yeah.
Callista's going to have the edge in that situation. But as the game progresses onwards and Tristana builds up her range, she then becomes the next big ADC to watch out for.
And you were talking about Tristana before, but not too much to care about for the time being, in comparison to how other ADCs scale. But it's just like any AD carry, or pretty much like any champion. They get ahead, and if they can really use their advantage, well then that's all they really need to do. As we do move into the game now, the finals for this fortnight of Oceanic Open Ladder by ACL. This is Avant Garde Academy versus Legacy Genesis. 2 teams which have proved their worth throughout today. We haven't seen too much of Legacy Genesis, but they're filled with ex-pros. We have a couple of Legacy subs in there. We have Chief Impaired. We've got a team full of potential coming through. We don't know much about Pac-Man, or at least I don't. And Nada, a bit of an old player coming through there. They're looking to invade and set the tone of this game, but it looks like it's just generally fanned out for the time being.
It is definitely fanned out for the time being. They've sort of set up a line of scrimmage here. Normally you'd see coming through from Avant Garde Academy, they're the ones who like to invade, but now they're playing a bit more careful. They know they're versing seasoned veterans when it comes to this particular game, and so they're going to sit back, make sure they've got wards everywhere. Look at that map. It is lit up by red wards. Everyone making sure they have the site totem first.
And look at Triple Cheese, LeBlanc. He's playing LeBlanc this game. That's something that might scare the pants off you. His fizz was crazy. Let's see if he can hold our expectations and, let us know how good are you with LeBlanc. Well, we'll find out soon, won't we? And Carteret being very passive, of course, getting his Spectral, I'd like to say Spectral Cow, but we all know it's not. Getting his Spectre first really gets a bit of vision control. He's got one at the blue buff, and I believe he's also got one down at the red buff as well. Some good stuff to start off.
Definitely, and Chief Edition is very quick to pick that one up, managing to pick up a free 10 gold. Starting off, they're ahead. Avant Garde are ahead.
Oh my god, Avant Garde are ahead by the 10 gold there. Carteret has made a big mistake and just got Edition so far ahead. The Maokai starting at a camp as well as Hecarim. Hecarim starting with Wolves, Maokai with the Raptors, both going to go back and teleport straight to that top lane.
Pretty much. They're going to pick up their advantage, get there as soon as possible, but it's going to be the same. Both of them are going to be level 2. Both of them are going to have an immense amount of sustains, and it's just going to be a nice bruiser fest up there.
And I love how we're seeing a couple of girl gamers make, I wouldn't say history, but we see a lot of great girl gamers making an appearance today. Claire, of course, to make it this far, you're no pushover. And of course, we saw before, Becky Gomez unable to continue on, but the Blitzcrank was real.
Definitely. And Edition doing a really good poke there on Cartridge, managing to get 2 hits off on that bomb, and that's going to blow up in her face, taking her down a little bit, but still they traded back very well.
Oh my god.
Triple Cheese is taking some poison damage.
He's taken quite a lot of poison damage, actually. Looking for that Twin Fangs, Claire is, and actually doesn't dodge that one. Nada gets a nice hook on the Nautilus, and Becky Gomez, of course, right down here, still having a go there. And what I meant to say before, not out, but not in the Blitzcrank, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. Blitzcrank's definitely a different pick. I think they decided to go for the Nautilus just because there was more lane presence there. Sure, Blitz has a lot of lane presence himself when he's landing those hooks, but it's not the same as Nautilus. Nautilus has that Titan's Wrath. He has that Riptide. If you miss the hook on Blitzcrank, there's not much he has aside from his Rocket Punch, and that's not going to do too much.
Yeah, although it was getting a couple of kills down to Addition, probably not right for this team composition. And adjusting to a team comp is something that makes professionals. So a great way to look for a gap there, Nada was, and doesn't find it just yet. Gonna get the stack for Cardrid, and they're pushing very hard against this bottom turret.
And as I said before, the advantage does go to Kalista in the early game, and they're doing a fantastic job harassing them off. They've got 6 CS over Tristana at the moment. She's still picking up a few of those CSs that's been pushed towards the tower, but now she's officially 4 CS behind.
And what I love in the middle is Cheese. Every time a poison, the Q comes from Cassiopeia, Triple Cheese just uses the distortion, dodges the poison, gets a trade-off, knowing that the Twin Fangs can't come through. So once again, just mistimes it, I think, that time, but a really good idea to sort of synergize with your LeBlanc a little bit, as we see Nada looking for a play here going on Addition. There goes the Ignite as well. Becky Gomez taking a bit of damage, but nothing's going to happen in that time.
Addition getting really low. That Ignite going down that rend, almost picking him up. That gives them enough time to force them out of lane. They're going to push us up as fast as possible, deny some experience to Tristana, and put Cardrid just a bit further ahead.
Cardrid is doing a lot of damage already. That CS advantage looking pretty good for Cardrid at the time being, and we see the Hecarim has actually lost his CS advantage against the Maokai, so pretty even for the time being, but Triple Cheese goes straight back to the poison and going to take a bit of harass damage there.
Tristana didn't leave the lane. Addition's hanged around, probably just chugging away some potions and hopefully hanging around just to see if he can get some more free CS rather than going back to lane there. Becky Gomez is going in, Sejuani is following.
Might actually work out for him. The flash getting forced from, I believe, the Thresh down there. Nada having to use that to escape. Hecarim looking to do some damage, but I think it's just tank v tank at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. He doesn't really have the advantage because there he's looking at having to deal with more minions on top of him after he locked him away, but the trade was pretty well done. Pac-Man is still taking a few hits.
Pac-Man and Skeletal are still fighting it off for the time being. Skeletal hasn't reached 6 just yet, doesn't have the damage to finish it off, and Impaired is up the top to make sure he's punished for his use of no mana. Impaired looks for the first blood here. I think we're going to see it, ladies and gentlemen, and there's first blood of the grand final going straight to Pac-Man.
Yeah, Maokai was just being too aggressive there. He didn't look at his wards as the Gragas came in. If he reacted a little bit quicker, and he could have possibly flashed away from that body slam and gotten out. But he decided to just let it go, let him get hit there. And with that aggression, Hecarim's going to be ahead now.
Nihilus looking for an in-lane gank to come down to this bottom side. Looks like Nautilus will be looking for something. They don't see him there. The Ignite gets off, but a flash has been pulled from the Kalista. Another flash getting taken out by Gomez, and it's just Flash City down here.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh.
As the ultimate was used by Cassiopeia there.
I think that was maybe an accident by Cassiopeia in the middle lane there, either to push the lane very quickly or just might have tried to get LeBlanc before a distortion.
Possibly was trying to predict what Triple Cheese was going to do. She didn't move. Triple Cheese didn't move that way, and unfortunately for Claire, that's one ultimate down that she really needs.
Claire really needs that ultimate to contest with the LeBlanc at the moment. You're already down a bit of a counter, so what are you going to do at this stage? What needs to be done by Triple Cheese to really take advantage of Cassiopeia?
He's ahead in CS at the moment. Cassiopeia's picked up her tier, so she's looking for the late game. She's going to miss a lot of CS now that he's pushed it up. He needs to go through, force her out of the lane without needing to use too much resources, and then that way he's free to roam and make some action happen around the map for the rest of his team. Skeletal
getting so much damage taken. Pac-Man is looking huge at the moment. The level 7 and the minions speed up to get a part of this. They even DDoS just a little bit to get a part of it, and they really want Skeletal up top.
They really do, and at the moment, Hecarim is ahead. He's managed to pick up the starting of his Bambi Cinder, so from there he's going to go through and start to get that Cinder Hulk set up for himself because he does have that smite damage. He's picking up the Scuttle Crab as we speak, and then he's going to head back to lane just as they hit the turret.
Claire keeps looking for cheese in this middle lane, but he keeps dodging it. Actually hits the poison now, so you might not want that. The Twin Fang is still in range, misses that next poison, and Claire's just going to back off from this one.
The damage from Claire is amazing. He actually managed to win that trade out there, even though the second chains landed. Triple G's didn't want to hang around to let him go, let it proc on through. He was taking too much damage from the Twin Fangs.
The Twin Fangs as deadly as ever. As soon as you get poisoned, you need to get out. You cannot challenge that Cassiopeia. That damage over time is absolutely huge as the Rend and Smite coagulate. There you go. There's your word. They coagulate. And
sounds like an ability that Vladimir should have.
Yeah, he really... Hemoplague, coagulation of hemoplague, yeah.
Exactly.
A lot of diseases all into one. But there's the first dragon going straight to Legacy Genesis. And Impaired clearing out a ward. Triple Cheese has really got to get this kill if he's ever going to get it. We see Cassiopeia, a bit of a counter for the LeBlanc. But you really want... you probably need Cheese to get ahead. Because that's what sets the tone for the game.
You really do need Cheese to get ahead. I mean, if you look at all the other games with Avant Academy, they've all managed to play through, and everyone in each lane has come through. Triple Cheese just being an outlier and pushing even further ahead apart from his teammates. In this game, it's the other way around. Legacy's ahead. Nelly's has started on Nada.
Once again, Nada doesn't have his flash, but he uses the ult on the other person. There, Kalista takes so much damage. Oh my god! But she comes back with a kite, nearly takes out the Tristana, having to force a heal. If he didn't use that, he would have been dead. And that's a 2-for-0 trade down bottom. Really nice in-lane gank by the Sejuani.
That was very well set up there by Avant Academy. Going through, making sure they could shut down this team. They've already tried a few times and to no avail, but this time they landed everything perfectly. They had level 6. The Glacial Prison was perfect. Instantly taking out Nada, and then from there they were able to finish off Claire while juggling the aggro from the tower. Very well played by Avant Academy.
Yeah, Claire just picking up that blue buff. Going to get a lot more cooldown reduction, a lot more sustain in this lane as well. Claire already has that tier, so mana's not going to be a problem. Look at her use that Twin Fang. Look at her use the poison. Skeletal getting aggressed up top as well. Man, Pac-Man is huge.
Yeah, he's already picked up a red buff. I believe he went and stole that from the jungle of Sejuani. Let's see if she has it when she comes through for this gank. Although we've got some more... I think that pink ward being taken out is much more important.
Definitely is. Sejuani moving to that top lane, though. Cheese going back into the poison. Dodging that chain there. Very nice by Claire. And Nautilus has actually rogued up to this mid lane. Might be looking for Claire to take him down before he gets fed.
Definitely. And now it's just a matter of the warding out game. They're going to see if they can catch people out. See if they make their way and just... They're just looking for catches, really. Everything's just a cat and mouse chess game at the moment between these two teams.
And Hecarim, nothing has changed. We always see Hecarim against Maokai as really being the bigger bully for the time being. At least until the Maokai gets a kill under his bat. As I say that, the flame misses from Nada, and Carteret isn't able to do anything except poke down this turret. Not too much going to happen in this bottom lane.
And Chief Edition doing a great job keeping up with CS on Kalista. That definitely helped him in the bottom lane when Nellis did that gank. He's now up 3 CS. Before he was almost 10 behind, even after all that aggression went through. And
the pickaxe and the BF sword having been picked up by Tristana, one half of an item, I should say, ahead of that Kalista, who doesn't have the pickaxe just yet. But if we look at the gold, we can see that probably will be able to afford it after a couple of waves. Nada really trying to reach that death sentence, but can't for the time being. Really nice cutting coming out of Edition, and the Nautilus, Becky Gomez. She's doing nice work disengaging this Thresh from doing anything.
Yeah, pretty much. She's just sitting there in the front being that giant anchor that she is at the moment. And she does have the option to try and get a hook. We'll see if he gets her. No, nothing's going to happen there. Nada's just looking for what he can get, but to no avail.
No, to no avail indeed. Sejuani's down bottom looking for an in-lane gank again. Carteret is going to have to be careful. If he gets caught out by this Sejuani again, he might add another death to his list. Targan's Brace being picked up by the Thresh, not normally upgraded, but in this competition so far, we've seen it actually being upgraded once again. Normally you go for the Sight Stone, you rush a bit of vision control, especially when you're that far pushed out. But this time, not really, and Triple Cheese trades off nicely with that mid lane. Something I want to point out very quickly is the fact that we've got 2 Cinderhulks coming through on Legacy Genesis. It's a lot of burn damage through, and of course the poison's going to add to that as well. But who really scales better, Hecarim or Gragas with the Cinderhulk? Obviously pre-11.
Pre-11, it's hard to say actually. I'd say Hecarim will scale better purely because he's going to be having a lot more gold to
because of that fight.
And yeah, because of that fight. But another reason why is he'll scale better as well is because he's going to have more damage built items.
Yeah.
So Gragas is really going to be more of a utility laner. going on through. He's picked up his Cinder Hulk. He's going to be very tanky, but not going to be as tanky as Hecarim, because Hecarim's going to have a lot more gold behind him in armor and magic resistance to really help bring across that extra health that he has.
Hecarim still keeps looking for Skeletal up in the top lane. Has a bit of a farm advantage, looking at about 15 CS advantage. In the jungle, we see Gragas about 6 CS ahead. Not too much to complain about. LeBlanc making a name for himself. Triple Cheese. He's doing pretty good for the time being. 12 CS ahead, as he should be. Tries to get away from Impaired. Impaired looks for the barrel, but actually doesn't make it in time. Triple Cheese goes straight into the turret, and not going to make anything of that, except that LeBlanc gets denied about 3 CS.
Pretty much. That was a bit too much. It's hard to gank a LeBlanc. You needed to go in and make sure she has already used her distortion. Yes, her LeBlanc. LeBlanc. It's very hard to gank because if she already has a distortion up, she's just going to get away, ult even further if she needs to, and then that's done. You've burnt your flash and your ultimate, and you haven't really achieved much other than chunk about half a HP.
And the gold advantage, looking at something that's very crucial to the game. We see about 600 gold going towards Legacy Genesis, purely because of the farm advantage for the time being. Triple Cheese picks up that blue buff, but 400 gold advantage purely because of farm, and when the other team has 2 kills, that's quite a good advantage.
It definitely is a really good advantage to have as you go into the rest of the game. That could be possibly because he's already gone for straight for the next upgrade on his Targon's Brace. It gives him an extra, proc.
Both members just waiting for each other.
Exactly, pretty much.
They're just like, okay, I'll wait till he comes.
But no, there's a lot of reasons going into it, especially because we have a Cinder Hulk Hecarim. He's actually picking up more gold from the neutral farm creeps when he goes into it and grabs the Gromps and he goes in and grabs the red buff. They actually give quite a fair amount of gold.
And a fair amount of gold. Oh, God, it's what you want, isn't it? You just want, everyone just wants money in this game. They're so greedy.
Yeah, pretty much. Everyone's just greedy. Look at them farming right now. Everyone's just sitting there. They're not even fighting. We're waiting for some scraps here, guys. Go in, get in some skirmishes. There's a dragon up. Come on.
Impaired body slams out of there before Nellis can do anything. Slows him down. Ward coverage is really what matters at the time being. Looks like we might see a bit of a rotation coming towards the dragon. Cass and LeBlanc still in the mid lane. Claire, Triple Cheese still fighting it out quite nicely. LeBlanc trying to do some damage, but just get poisoned instead. Claire takes half his health. Her health, I should say.
Yeah, and it's really hard to see, which team really does come out on top when it comes to the farming team. Maokai, Hecarim are always going to remain relevant. Tristan is going to be having there. Found Nellis. There's something we wanted. Oh,
Triple Cheese is looking for the kill here. 3 members are on Impaired, and he's going to get bursted in a second. The chain hits, but the range is too great for Triple Cheese. Chief Impaired drinks another drink, looks for something, looks for the Dark Passage, but doesn't find it. And there's the first kill for LeBlanc.
Definitely. And he almost got that Dark Passage off, but that passive coming through from the anchor from Becky Gomez, keeping him locked in place. And there we go. There's going to be an equalizing dragon for Avant Academy. And
Pac-Man once again has stolen the red buff. So Skeletal's going to take some burn damage. This is the second time it's happened. I think Skeletal is so sick of this, as Claire takes a double sigil, I should say. Oh my God. The burn?
Is it burn?
The burn?
The burn? No.
The burn. Oh my
not enough.
God, that must have been very, very close. I'm guessing about 5 health. But with that, I guess the Hecarim can sort of pick up his next chain of items. Probably go into the Mana Crystal would be a good start. Or maybe attack speed sword. I forgot.
The dagger?
The dagger.
There we go.
The dagger of attack speed. As Triple Cheese comes in from the back line. The Claire has altered, in fact, and Pac-Man just runs over Nellis. LeBlanc tried to come in there. Triple Cheese using his passive quite nicely, but Impaired knows which one it is. Going to look for the barrel. He might actually look for the ult here. The body slam's going to come in, but no body slam. Maybe he's already.
He already used it.
Yeah,
he used it before trying to close the gap to be able to throw that barrel out. But it's okay. It's up for Skeletal.
He takes his anger out on Skeletal instead, as Nada gets a lot of the damage. Has to use that box. Becky Gomez is the one taking damage, but Carteret is getting beaten back by this Tristana, who actually nearly kills him. Carteret gets himself a nice Nautilus on the way. Chief Edition looking for the Thresh, but he's not going to get anything out of that.
That Ren damage was huge. Kadri was sitting there as long as he possibly could to make sure he could stack up enough spears for that execute damage that he needed to finish Nautilus. And now that this has gone through, he's just going to go through, sustain on up, and now there's not much up. There we go. We got the teleport also coming as well.
Addition, you are not getting out of this one alive. Carteret takes a bomb, He looks for the lifesteal. Oh, the minion actually kills him in the end. That was a bit OP.
Pretty much. That was fantastic for him to get those stacks of the bombs onto Garde at the last second then, and that was enough for him to secure the kill. But still, he does go down. There's a lot more pressure happening in the bot lane now for it.
Turret might actually go down as well. Sejuani looks for something. Pac-Man's going to run out as a good horse he should. Not going to be in the bush. He doesn't need to. He doesn't care.
He doesn't mind. He's got his home guards as well. Watch how quickly he's going to zoom out of the base straight to that top lane.
Oh, but never mind. The death sentence just misses on Nellis, and Nellis getting really aggroed by this Hecarim, who does he even care that it's a 1v2? Maybe soon to be a 1v3. Pac-Man's like, nah, man, it's all right. I got so much movement speed here. He ults. He takes out Nellis in the same token, and we now see Nautilus, who might be in a bit of trouble. The Skirmisher's Blade does a lot of work, and wow.
And he went for the Challenger's Blade as well. Nellis went through. Now he's going to think twice.
The challenging smite. Yes, you're very good with that, as now the Cassiopeia takes a lot of damage. Goes back to his distortion, but Cassiopeia is so strong. Claire just absolutely collapses on that LeBlanc.
That was an amazing damage coming through there. There's not much LeBlanc could have done there after that ultimate had gone through.
And look at Impaired. Just take a couple of turret shots. He doesn't care at all. Cardred gets that bottom turret. The second turret for Legacy Genesis, making that gold lead about 3k for the time being. That's quite a lot considering how close things are.
Pretty much. I'm quite surprised. It feels like Avant Academy has been picking up more, but really it's all on that Hecarim at the moment. He's basically making massive plays around the map. He's 4-0-0, and now that tower may be down also for him in the top lane, that gives him just more free farm to keep going and getting bigger and bigger.
And Hecarim with 162 farm, already a 20 CS farm advantage to start off. We got the Cass with a 10 CS farm advantage. That's quite a lot considering how LeBlanc scales up against Cassiopeia. We see Kalista, who's about 7-8 CS ahead, but that's been continuous for pretty much the whole laning phase. So not too much to really say in favor of Avant Academy, except that they may be falling behind her. Triple Cheese takes a lot of damage coming out from the Twin Fang. Looks like Nellis is on this very quick though. The LeBlanc helps out and gets Nellis his second kill of the game.
Definitely well played by them. They've really baited out Cassiopeia there. She was a little bit cocky hanging around in that bottom side. There was not too much she could do once Nellis had come in. She was there trying to get the return kill onto LeBlanc, but she was too far out of the way and managed to avoid the rest of the damage she wanted to put out there.
Oh, and look at Addition wants to 1v1 Cardred at this stage, get his bomb off, which he's doing quite well. Oh, the critical strike gets Cardred so low, but not low enough.
Yeah, Cardred was there he missed his spear as well just to try and get some extra damage onto Chief Edition there. He thought he had enough damage to execute with the Buster Shot follow-up on through, but that's okay. His consolation prize is the turret.
And turret definitely worth. That's exactly what Avant Academy need right now. AVA looking very strong, but not strong enough to really counter this 2k gold lead, which has rescinded, but you got to imagine that Legacy Genesis is just getting so much stronger.
Definitely, and that Hecarim is getting bigger and bigger. Tristana's going to have her hands full trying to cut away from that beast.
Look at Nautilus, he doesn't care either. All these tanks, they don't care at all.
They really don't care.
Warmogs coming out from Nellis, first item, not counting the jungle item. Actually, I should say Sightstone as well. He's gone for the let's get some health today, you know? And I understand that there is mixed damage coming through. You've got the Gragas, the Hecarim, and the Cassiopeia. There's a lot of AD, AP mixed. And Thresh, of course, has some flat AP that you got to worry about if you're super low. But the Warmogs, do you think it was very relevant?
I mean, it works with Sejuani because she actually scales. Her abilities actually do have a bit of scaling coming through from having more and more HP. It's a very, very early Warmogs. I think she might have done a bit better going for something a bit more... initiating. Well, you could say initiating heavy where
would you get a
Righteous Glory?
Would you get a Righteous Glory on your jungler?
She's got a lot of initiate, maybe not. Look at the amount of spears in this dragon.
There's the second dragon coming out as we now decipher whether Sejuani should have gotten that Righteous Glory to come in. Doesn't actually look for the dragon or the steal at the moment, so Legacy Genesis just get another objective pretty free.
I think looking at it, you've already got the Righteous Glory on Maokai, so the idea is having two of them might be a bit too much.
I did not see that.
So they probably decided, hey...
Double Righteous Glory.
Yeah, having two Righteous Glories might be a bit too much. I don't think they stack when you pop them at the same time, so would be no point having it.
We will see. when Sejuani finally listens to us. And look at Pac-Man 1v2ing at the time being. He is taking quite a lot of damage, though, already at half health, as there is another fight going on in the middle of that. Claire just poisoning everyone. It's turned into a big team fight. The Fate's call did not go in the right direction, though. Nada, you might have to help out this one as Pac-Man's getting damaged so hard. Triple Cheese looks for the kill, does find the shutdown goal bonus, but a really nice spear coming from Nada. Gets taken down by Triple Cheese in the process, getting a double kill. The flash comes out of Impaired, but Becky Gomez going to go down as well. The ult comes out from Addition. There's the rocket jump, and you've got a 3-for-2 trade going in the way of Legacy Genesis.
That would have gotten Avant Academy's way if it wasn't for how big Pac-Man is at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
He was able to hold off for so long against those two. He almost got away as well. If he did, that would have been much bigger in the favor of Legacy. But now they're going to take this advantage and see if they can push into a tower. Nellis and Addition are pushing them off, holding them off.
That turret isn't even half gone, so they might actually retreat from this with a nice scrying orb spot. It's going to let them know that they're going back. Probably need to start warding up that Baron with the way things are going. Maybe in the next 5 to 10 minutes, we might see a sneaky Baron, or at least a potential bait around the Baron pit.
Definitely. If you have a look now, Hecarim has finished his Triforce. He just hit his spike. That's right. He has hit the spike now. Before, we would have thought he was as strong as he is. But now he's way stronger.
Heck Dogs is going to come through very large. So how are they going to deal with a Hecarim who's just running through that backline, who can 1v3 for the time being? I mean, he's just such a powerful pick. Maybe they should have banned the Hecarim instead of the Fizz.
Maybe they should have. But the problem is as well, is that you have 3 AP laners. Or not 3 AP laners, you got 3 AP sort of carries.
Yeah,
You've got the Sejuani, you've got that LeBlanc, and then you've also got the Maokai. That's 3 AP attacks. Well, obviously, he's just going to go through, no worries, let me itemize magic, I'm going to be fine against you. The only thing he has to really worry about is Tristana shredding him, but got 1 Frozen Heart. That's probably a good mix-up for everything he needs. Give him the cooldown reduction he needs also to deal more damage, and he's fine.
Pac-Man just going to go and farm top turret again. Skeletal might take a bit of damage and get forced out of that. Nearly 50 CS ahead. That's what Pac-Man's looking at for the time being. After this wave, we might see exactly that. Nada getting pulled out by the LeBlanc for the time being. Impaired already using his ult, trying to slow down Cheese from getting that Thresh, but oh, the Fate's call, beautifully picked. And Thresh going to survive that one.
Pretty much. They did manage to come out on top there. Pac-Man thinking about going in there, but thought, okay, look, I'm big, but I'm not that big. I can't handle 5 of them at once. And they're just going to see if they go through for a nice little siege now. Claire still has her ultimate, so if that comes on through, they have to watch out.
Seraph's Embrace being picked up by Claire as well with the Abyssal Scepter. We also see the Blasting Wand possibly moving into something like a... wish I could say Luden's Echo, but it's not the build path. Maybe a Rabadon's with that flat AP scaling. For a Cassiopeia who's already doing so much damage, it's exactly what you need. LeBlanc already got the Rabadons. We got the Morel Anomicon and the Void Staff to trump that Gragas and that Hecarim before they start building that huge magic resist that they really need.
Yeah, and she still can do a lot of damage. Hecarim might be in trouble.
I don't think so. I think Hecarim is just such a big cheese at the moment. He'll probably get out of this one. The Twisted Advance hasn't been used just yet, but the rest of Legacy decide this is a great time to go in. Triple Cheese, passive has been dropped. Chief Imped looking for something there. Pac-Man just runs over Becky Gomez. He's still in the fight. Looks like the rest of Legacy Genesis are going to go straight in on this one. Claire's there. Hasn't actually altered yet, I don't think. Actually, yes, she has. Claire getting brutally punished in this one and survives by, oh my god, what a beautiful Dark Passage picked up by Cardrid, and that's a 4-for-none trade. Where were the good times?
The good times were gone. There was no front line for Avant Academy. It was all trying to deal with Pac-Man, who, mind you, he's still at half HP. Everything is good days for him.
He just ran around and he saw that, oh, okay, so Becky Gomez is trying to get out of this fight. No, that's not. I'll just ult right down, get rid of her, and re-engage back on the Maokai. We're back, you know?
Pretty much. That's all they're really going to do. And now that they've got these 2 smites as well, they're going to make short work of Baron. Triple Cheese trying to get in there. Too much.
Yeah, just too much at this stage. They're going to back off, regroup, and start pushing some turrets.
Yeah, definitely. And now that they've got that 6-1 Hecarim as well, he's a menace. He can definitely go up 2v1, even with the Baron buff and those minions. Now he could possibly even was it 1v3? So
he just does so much for the time being. The Spirit Visage being picked up. The 3-item Hecarim never looked so strong. And 6 for 1 for 2. These top laners today have been the highlight of success.
Definitely. Although Triple Cheese tried to steal some of the
limelight
away from them by putting an amazing fist play. Wow, that's amazing damage.
He's still doing a lot of damage, but it's not enough to actually burst the Thresh. He was not that tanky for the time being. He's got the Crystalline Brace looking to move into the Warmogs, or perhaps even into maybe the Righteous Glory getting picked up by the Thresh. That'd be a real common pick. Definitely he has the face of the mountain, but he doesn't have any magic resist. So the fact that LeBlanc can't burst him just yet is, you know, probably needs to get a bit more damage coming from LeBlanc before that happens.
Pretty much. Although he will eventually, once he picks up that Righteous Glory, he will be looking towards getting himself a Locket of the Iron Solari. That's going to help a lot with the burst. And it's kind of hard now for LeBlanc to really pick anyone up. The only person at that point she can go for is Claire and Cardrid. And they're being very careful with their positioning.
And the third dragon being picked up by Legacy Genesis. That's going to give him the movement speed. That's going to give Hecarim more damage. Don't forget how much damage he gets per movement speed. He's at 233 for the time being. That's really a lot for someone as tanky as he is. So Hecarim, unstoppable force. His Onslaught of Shadows runs through people. You got to be careful, Avant-Garde Academy. AVA just, they're scary. They're very scary.
Legacy is definitely in the driver's seat at the moment, and AVA is in damage control. Both of them have teams that scale fairly well. Sejuani making her way up there, but she figured, you know what, I've been here 2 times already, and nothing's come of it except my team dying. Yeah. Maybe I should go elsewhere.
Probably need to help that bottom lane, which is getting pushed so hard. We can see Mr. Cheese down the bottom there. Triple Cheese looking for the assassination from behind. Can he get it? Does he do enough damage against Claire? That's the question. The Abyssal Scepter pick up by Claire is really working wonders. Has the Seraph's Embrace as well. Can she die by LeBlanc 1v1? I don't think so.
No, she's definitely got a lot of tankiness to actually keep her alive. And if she pops that Seraph's Embrace in a good point in time, she'll be fine. Especially because she's got a lot of control. And that top lane turret's going through. Yeah, the spear.
If you just missed that spear against Tristana, that just did so much damage. Look at the level advantage. Pac-Man versus the Maokai. We can see Skeletal, I should say. He's level 14. The Hecarim is almost level 18.
Yeah, he's level 17 at the moment. He's 3 levels ahead. That's purely because he's been able to go through push, keep up and farm, and also have that jungle farm as well. He's been taking away from... my God.
Really nice dodge for that dredge line. Yeah.
These teams are incredible in that regard. But he's been taking away from Nellis.
Nellis has given up hope on the Maokai.
He really has. He's going to make sure he can stick there. The Baron buff has worn off. So we don't have to worry about too much.
I don't think it matters for the time being. I think that they're so strong coming from Legacy Genesis that something like this might happen as the ult comes from Claire. The depth charge comes in. The Seraph's Embrace has been picked up. But the Glacial Prison goes straight on there. Nellis is taking the damage. Maybe it should go somewhere else. As Triple Cheese is in there. He's still alive for the time being. Carteret has free roam down the back. The Hecarim is here, ladies and gentlemen. He's just helicoptering everywhere. And he takes the full brunt of the turret damage. Doesn't really matter for the time being. 1 member down for Legacy. 2 members down for Avant-Garde. We now see Nellis getting smashed. Carteret picks up the kill there. Skeletal is in the middle of them all, but they prioritize that Tristana. The lifesteal is going to keep that Kalista alive. There goes Skeletal. All members down for Avant-Garde. This might be the inhibitor. We won't see the game just yet, I don't think, but we will see a Nexus turret.
Yeah, and now they've pushed their gold lead to over 15k. No, sorry, just 13k above Avant-Garde Academy. Also picking up another turret constellation prize.
They could get that mid-turret.
If they want to, they probably could. There's a lot of death timers going through. LeBlanc might pick someone up very quickly. So, yeah, they're going to get it anyway. Pac-Man's like, no worries. Who cares? It's just a Nautilus and a LeBlanc. I'll be fine.
He'll be fine. That's exactly right. He doesn't have any mana, but I don't think he cares for the time being. Triple Cheese really wants this kill. He doesn't land a chain, though. So, Pac-Man, oh, my God. He's just decided now is the time. The distortion, really nice to go back to it. Otherwise, he would have been dead.
Definitely. A very smart play to get that distortion right on out of there. But that doesn't really matter. The whole purpose of Pac-Man charging on in was just to get him away from Gaia. She didn't want her picking up any constellation kills.
No.
And, you know, possibly getting a chance to get back into the game.
Cardwood picks up the red, possibly the last red of the game. Dragon is up in 1 minute 56. Baron is up again in 1 minute 40. It's ripe for the taking. Avant-Garde cannot really contest this for the time being. Legacy Genesis looking so strong, looking like they're the team that's going to beat Avant-Garde Academy. Triple Cheese, not as strong as he was in past games, still doing quite a lot, but where is the Fizz? He'd be running all around. Maybe not in this case, though. I got to say, they're countering this mid lane quite well.
No, they're definitely doing a very good job making sure that Triple Cheese isn't being a big factor in the game. He is 4-3-1, definitely the top performer in his team at the moment. But having that bottom inhibitor down is such a big deal because it's going to be down for when that Baron comes up. They're jumping on this Triple Cheese.
Oh, Pac-Man looks like he takes not enough damage to be anything. The Righteous Glory gets popped and Nato's here. They look for the barrel that gets Skeletal, forces a flash, and the chain goes out from Triple Cheese. They do have... Do they have the Baron buff?
They don't have the Baron
buff. Not yet.
The
Sorry,
Baron's up in 40
It's not
seconds.
even up. It's not even up. How did you get that Baron buff? I don't know. It's not up.
It could be a glitch.
Let me just get my keyboard, you know. As Triple Cheese looks for... Oh, my God. The damage that came from Triple Cheese. The LeBlanc is actually doing a lot of damage. There is still hope in this game, ladies and gentlemen. If he can actually take out Claire, that makes it a 5v4. And the possible Baron coming towards Avant-Garde Academy might actually turn this game around.
Yeah, but those super minions in the bottom lane are starting to build up. So they really need to make sure they make something happen right now or they're going to have to back and give up that Baron.
The Baron is up very soon. We're going to see it sniver away in that pit. Or maybe we're not, as Pac-Man looks for something against Skeletal. He knows he's ahead. He goes for Skeletal again, misses that chain, and just shows that the big cheese, the real big cheese, is apparently going to be coming in very soon.
And as Avant-Garde Academy back off, Legacy G move in. They're going straight for that Baron, and look at it drop.
They don't even contest it. They go to the Dragon instead. Now, that was the Baron you really needed to contest. I don't think the Dragon is going to do much for you. I think you've just left the lanes open.
Pretty much. They're rushing straight on through to see if they can pick up that top lane. So they are going for trade, and they're getting a free red along the way.
Yeah, Cardwood's going to pick up that. It's going to be so useful. Triple Cheese is back now. So is the rest of the team. Now, we do see Nellis, who's back and impaired. He just walked into the base. So has Pac-Man. I don't think they care at this stage. Triple Cheese is the one they're trying to get. And Cardwood gets bursted down by Triple Cheese. Really well played to target the AD carry. They can't push as well as they'd like now. And Claire has been the one who's getting targeted. So much damage come through. Claire picks up LeBlanc before anything else can happen. Cheese is down. And Claire is looking to kite this out. The big shield against Miss Skeletal. The twisted advance goes straight onto Claire, but so much damage going for Claire. But Pac-Man, meanwhile, just ends it. The backdoor Hecarim wins the grand final for this week's Oceanic Open Ladder.
That was incredible. Very well played by Legacy G there, showing that they are the dominant favorites for this tournament and definitely coming through on top. Pac-Man having a fantastic game. It was a bit shaky at the start for them. Avant-Garde Academy making sure they do a little bit of work there, but Legacy G come on through in the end and take the win and the final.
That's a 2-0 win, Ed. Not a bit of a whitewash, but still very well played by both teams. Avant-Garde Academy made sure that they got to the finals at least. Hey, there's our reputation right there.
Exactly.
They're definitely a team we look forward to seeing again in the future. They played so well, they contended, and the fact is their top lane and their mid lane, very powerful.
Very powerful indeed. When you have very strong laners, is indicative of having a great team as well. And Pac-Man did amazingly. He was there for the game. The only time he died was because he hanged around for, what, 1 minute and a half, just taking all the damage he needed to. To be honest, he was the only person in the team at the time that actually was big, and because of his influence, he was able to bring it the power and give it to his team as well. Because he knew, I can't win this alone, I need to have my team big as well, and that's why he sat there taking all that extra damage for his team, and it made Kadri get bigger. It allowed Cassiopeia to continue the fight and continue farming, and then from there, they were able to push through and take that victory. Yeah,
Legacy Genesis will take out this victory for this weekend, but on behalf of all production, myself and Mendrix here, we'd like to thank you for being a part of the ACL's Oceanic Open Ladder, and until next fortnight when we will return, we'll see you then.